Facilitating student friendships. How to help students form friendships in the elementary classroom. Hi, my name is Darlene Foreman. I have made this presentation to assist elementary teachers as they try to help their students form friendships. Why are friendships important? All teachers have experienced it. You are out at recess and a child comes to you in tears because no one will play with him, or others are being mean. It often feels like our students spend more time bickering than playing. We all know relationships aren't easy, but they are important. They provide support in times of failure, and support that is needed to take chances and try new things. A study by Hardup noted these additional benefits of friendship. Because friends are more likely to communicate effectively, collaboration with friends may lead to better mastery. The development of friendships is the single best predictor of adult adaptation. And childhood friendships lay the groundwork for later relationships. Another study cited by Jackson found that students who have trouble developing friendships are more likely to have problems with obesity. So how can we as teachers help with this? The articles I read could be divided into two categories. For each of these, I have found 5 recommendations. The first category is direct instruction. The second category is classroom atmosphere. I will start by talking about direct instruction. Ozturk cited Sullivan in asserting that 2 things are needed for children to form friendships: social skills and dealing with conflict and equality are the focus of our direct instruction. Rada and Estes assert that schools offer a good place for social skills training because they offer so many opportunities to practice the skills. Let's look at some of the characteristics of direct instruction. Though not the only method, social skills training often is the most effective when done in small groups. It is good practice to group students who need help with students who are more socially skilled. This not only helps provide the positive feedback needed to reinforce the new skills being acquired, but these peers can be the ushers to help the student who has had trouble be accepted into the classroom groups. Another guideline for instruction is that it should include practice in seeing situations from the point of view of others. Grzinko also proposed role-playing situations. This can be done for practice of how to handle the situation, or taking the antagonist's part to gain perspective on their point of view. Finally, Rada and Estes suggest using a manualized program to make sure you are covering the topics deemed most important. There are several pre-designed instructional plans available. One example is the 12-week Friendship Club. Another, by McGinnis and Goldstein, featured these topics: introducing yourself, beginning a conversation, ending a conversation, joining in, playing a game, asking a favor, offering help to a classmate, giving a compliment, accepting a compliment, suggesting an activity, sharing, and making apologies. Whether finding a program already made or making your own, here are 5 general areas that Spence suggested be covered. Behavioral social skills training. This includes instruction, discussion, rehearsal, and feedback. Social perception skills training to help students correctly interpret cues from others. Self-instruction, self-regulation techniques such as self-talk and self-reinforcement. Social problem solving. This would include identifying the problem, generating solutions, predicting outcomes, and making choices. And reduction of competing, inhibiting inappropriate social responses to help overcome the unproductive strategies they may already be employing. The other category of ways to help students form friendships has to do with the teacher's effect on the classroom atmosphere. The teacher sets the tone for the class. The suggestions I am going to present come from articles by Guest and Hendricks. Number 1. Attitude toward aggression. Teachers who show that they are against aggression have classes that are characterized by less aggression. In other words, we should not support the notion that boys will be boys or support the idea that tussling between children is acceptable. Number 2. Treat equally. By treating all students equally, teachers combat the tendency for there to be a student hierarchy in class. Pay attention to all, not just a select few. There is a tendency for groups to set themselves up in hierarchies. There are students who are popular, those who are unpopular, and those who are ignored. By treating students equally and paying attention to all, teachers lessen this tendency and encourage students to express liking for a wider range of students in their class. Number 3. Be supportive. Being supportive to all students models how students should be treating one another. Going back to the idea of hierarchy, Chang stated that there is a trend for students to reject peers who behave aggressively, to ignore or reject children who are socially withdrawn, and to admire children who behave pro-socially. By being supportive to all, teachers can help lessen the effect of this. Those who are withdrawn will be less ignored, and the aggressive students less disliked. So when a teacher shows irritation at students with problem behaviors, it signals students that they can treat those students with less respect, in a less respectful manner. So we must be respectful to all. This isn't always easy, but it is important. Though students with behavior problems often inspire conflict, Hendricks reminds us of the importance of keeping the conflict down, or at least making it more private. Number 4. Learner-centered classroom. By teaching to students' needs, it combats the academic hierarchy. There is a positive correlation between differentiated support and student liking. Teaching without differentiation is often too high for the low students and too low for the high students. All ability levels should be given interesting material. When grouping, it is important to make sure all groups are interesting and challenging, and according to Makami, mixed ability groups should still be used when possible. Giving special attention to students who need more help does not go against the treat equally directive. Students seem to understand when their peers need more help. This is not an endorsement for having a teacher's pet, however. In the study conducted by Hendricks, having a teacher's pet seemed to increase the level of disliking in the classroom. Group to limit conflict is number 5. Of course, it says separate students who are having trouble with each other. Of course, students who don't get along well cannot and probably should not be kept away from each other at all times. Still, it is a good idea to seat them apart to limit the exposure and conflict. Avoid attempts to seat students to develop friendships. Teachers are, by their job description, outside of the student's social group and can do more harm than good through attempts to engineer relationships. In conclusion, friendships are important. They bring enjoyment to life. They can give courage to explore new things and an avenue to improve learning. In addition, they set the stage for physical and emotional health in the individual's future. Teachers, being outside the social structure, cannot solve all social problems for our students, but there are steps we can take to help them. We can provide instruction on skills that help the students develop friendships, and we can set the tone in the classroom that will model how to treat others.